How to survive Florida summers. So it's no secret that Florida gets really, really hot during the summer, and it's kind of just hot year-round. But how do you really tolerate the heat? There are some people that really do not like the heat, including myself. I'm not a big fan of it. Once it gets above 88 degrees, it's a little too much for me. But how do you get past it? How do you get past the heat? I would say if you are visiting Florida, especially from a northern state, when you're used to colder weather, I would just avoid going in either July or August because it's just too hot to be enjoyable. I would say go pretty much any other time except those 2 months, because then the weather will be much more agreeable. You won't be just drenched in sweat, drenched in humidity. Just avoid July and August. But pretty much any time of the year you go. I would also say just avoid going outside between around noon or around 1 o'clock to about 4, because that's kind of the peak heat, the peak sun. Sometimes there's even UV warnings because the sun is just so strong it could really harm your skin, and it's just unpleasant to be in. And again, during the summer is kind of the worst of it. It can easily get 95, 100 degrees, sometimes 110 degrees, plus humidity, so it's just kind of like you're in a big bowl of soup, pretty much. But besides that, the middle of the day, besides just being really hot, it's not exactly the most picturesque. I would say wait until the sun starts setting, then go to the beach or some other area. You can really start enjoying, these changing colors in the sky, the beach, the temperature goes down a little bit. So it's just better to go either early in the morning or later in the evening to go out and see things. It's just more pleasant in general. And I would say also that with the heat, especially if you're going to be spending a lot of time outside, maybe you want to go on some trails, you want to go camping, and that sort of thing, exploring some parks, always bring a lot of water with you. Mainly because it's so easily possible to get dehydrated when you're out here. You could get into some serious trouble if you don't stay hydrated. You keep drinking some water because you just easily sweat it out. And it's especially a good idea to take some water that has some electrolytes in it, because that will really help replenish what your body needs to function properly, to feel good, and not just exhausted from the heat. Now, another kind of more obvious tip is to wear the right kind of clothes when you're out here in the summer. A lot of people make the mistake of wearing a lot of cotton clothing. That's not great because cotton really likes to hold on to moisture. So if you start sweating, your shirt's going to become a sponge. Second, it's so humid that it's also going to absorb into your clothes, and you're just going to feel so heavy, so weighed down, so sticky. You're not going to have any fun at all. So I recommend opting for clothes that have fabrics that are way more lightweight, more breathable, moisture wicking. Some of the best options for hot weather are polyester, mainly. And that really just really keeps that moisture away from you. It wicks it away from your body. It's breathable, it's light, it's thin, but it's still durable. So it has all these benefits that are really nice for very hot weather. You could also consider linen, which is a natural material, a natural fabric, also similarly very light and breathable. Although I do think polyester does wick moisture away better compared to linen and things like that. But either way, you really just want something light and breezy, so you don't feel dragged down and heavy and just too hot. But besides your clothes and besides taking a lot of water with you, air conditioning is obviously your best friend. Of course, if you're outside, there's not going to be air conditioning, but every so often is a good idea to get back into some air conditioning to just cool off, relax, that sort of thing. And most likely, if you're on the coast somewhere, there's going to be a pretty nice breeze, so that'll just be your kind of natural air conditioning, especially during the evening or the early morning when the temperature's a bit cooler. That breeze will be really nice, that nice coastal breeze. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem in terms of staying cool. And my final tip is, of course, wear sunscreen, especially if you're going to the beach. You're going to be, spending a lot of time in the sun. Even if you're not going to the beach, it is so sunny in Florida. 99% of the time, it's really, really sunny. If you care about anti-aging, wear sunscreen, because the sun is kind of the number one factor that ages the skin. If you're not worried about anti-aging, you could also worry about skin diseases, which the sun can also cause. Sunscreen can help prevent these things, mainly because, they block the sun's rays pretty well. I always recommend, if you get sunscreen, make sure it's 30 plus SPF. That's when it starts being effective. I always opt for about 50 SPF, maybe 60, but anything above 30 is you'll be good to go. Apply it to your face, obviously any part of your skin that is exposed to the sun. And if you don't have sunscreen, or you don't have that much sunscreen, you could also look for clothing that has kind of a UV protection properties just built in. Maybe wear a sun hat, that sort of thing. And that'll keep you protected from the sun, it'll keep you cool, and all that. But those are pretty much my tips for surviving Florida summers. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.